They say curiosity is harmless, that it's only pixels, that it doesn't hurt anyone, but the screen doesn't just show you something, it becomes something inside you, and by the time you realize what it is, it's already been living in your nervous system for years, hiding behind your eyes, lodged deep in the creases of your memory, playing loops you never consciously gave permission for, but still run every time you're alone, tired, ashamed, or just bored. This is not about shame. This is about freedom, and the truth is, pornography isn't just a habit. It's a hypnotic architecture designed to erode your will, hijack your mind, fracture your perception of intimacy, and deform your relationship with desire. What is porn? It's not sex, it's not connection, it's not freedom, it's a synthetic ritual of isolation. A pixelated ceremony where the soul gets seduced into believing that dopamine is love, that voyeurism is power, and that addiction is choice. Porn doesn't show you sex, it trains your brain to avoid real life, to run from the risk of rejection, to find comfort in control, and to bury real vulnerability under the illusion of pleasure. Why do you keep going back? Because porn isn't about desire, it's about escape. It's a spiritual anesthesia, numbing the ache of a life unlived, giving you pleasure without effort, arousal without intimacy, climax without closeness. It creates a loop where you're always almost satisfied but never at peace, always stimulated but emotionally flat, and the worst part is, you begin to accept that this is normal, that real sex is awkward, that real people can't excite you the way fantasy does, and you slowly trade connection for control, relationship for ritual, and meaning for mimicry. Who is the real victim here? Your future self, the one who craves depth but feels disoriented, who wants to love but flinches at intimacy, who wants to build something sacred but has nothing left to give because porn made you a consumer of people instead of a lover of souls. The human nervous system wasn't built for this. The endless novelty, the constant climax, the emotional detachment. It rewires you to see people not as whole beings, but as segmented body parts, as tools for gratification, as stories to skip through when they no longer excite you. And this docility just happen in secret. It spills into your relationships, your attention span, your expectations, your patience, your peace. How does one break free? Not through willpower alone, but through reconnection. When you stop looking at porn, the first thing you feel is not power, it's grief for the years spent chasing artificial highs, grief for the parts of your heart that you shut down, grief for the sacred relationships you sabotaged with shallow desire. But that grief is holy. It's the beginning of resurrection, and if you allow it to burn, it will purify you. You don't just quit porn by deleting a browser, you quit by rebuilding your nervous system, by teaching your body that peace is safe, that boredom is a portal, that slow touch and emotional presence are not boring, they're beautiful. You start waking up from the numbness, from the constant stimulation, and you start feeling again sunlight, breath, music, the presence of another human being, and it feels raw, unfamiliar, terrifying. But this is where healing begins. Discipline is not denial, it's devotion. You are not giving something up, you are returning something home to yourself. Every time you say no to the screen, you say yes to something deeper, to energy, to confidence, to vision, to self-respect. Your eyes begin to glow differently, when they are no longer trained to look away from reality and toward fantasy. Your voice changes, your walk shifts, your ability to be present deepens. And no, it's not easy, especially at first, because everything in your past will tempt you. The muscle memory of addiction will whisper, just this once, and your brain will believe it because it craves the familiar. But every time you override that impulse, you build a new self. What does a life look like on the other side? It looks like freedom from comparison, from shame, from secrecy. It looks like real connection where intimacy is earned, not clicked, where desire is sacred, not drained, where your energy is stored, not stolen, where your mornings are yours again, your mind is sharper, your soul less anxious, your goals more magnetic. Pornography is not a sin in the religious sense, it is a spiritual sedative. It doesn't punish you, it paralyzes you. It doesn't judge you, it drains you. And slowly, quietly, invisibly, it convinces you that your deepest desires can be met through shallow habits, but they cannot. Desire was never your enemy, it's your compass. And when aligned with intention, it becomes your fuel. Why should you never ever see porn again? Because you are not created to be a watcher, but a maker, a lover, a builder of the sacred. Because your eyes were not designed for pixels, but for presence. Because every time you say never again, you are not becoming less sexual, you are becoming more whole, more honest, more alive. And one day you will look back not with guilt, but with gratitude and say, that was the day I stopped consuming my soul, and started reclaiming it.